Good afternoon and welcome on board, everyone. My name is Jacob. I'm your guide the next hour on this canal tour around Copenhagen's harbour. And up here we have our Captain Henrik, who will make sure you get a safe and pleasant cruise. Please note that we're going to sail under a lot of low bridges, so please stay seated and mind your heads every time we sail under a bridge. The first bridge is coming up just down there, so please stay seated. Thank you. Jeg skal lige høre, er der nogen her, der gerne vil have tur på dansk? Så må jeg gerne lige række en hånd i vejret. Er der nogen, der vil tage på dansk? Nej, det er ikke. Jeg gør det på engelsk, så. Okay. Before we have reached the bridge, please enjoy beautiful Christiansborg Castle. Christiansborg Castle up here to your right. The seat of the Danish Parliament, the High Court of Denmark, and the Prime Minister's office. This castle is from 1928, so not even 100 years old. And now, please stay seated, mind your heads, thank you. We can see Holman's Church, the Church of the Navy, and also where our Queen of England was married back in 1967, inside this old church from the 1600s. And over here to the right, you can see the beautiful old stock exchange of Copenhagen, built in the 1600s by the famous King Richard IV. And please pay attention to the tower in the middle. It's supposed to look like 4 dragons that are intertwined, and it ends with 3 crowns in the top, symbolizing the former union between Denmark, Sweden and Norway. This was the Cannal Union that existed for more than 400 years. Today, the actual stock exchange of Copenhagen is located just a few hundred meters that way, next to St. Nikolai's Church. Bridge coming up, please stay seated, thank you. Big modern building up here to the left, that's the National Bank of Denmark. The National Bank was designed by Arne Jacobsen, a famous Danish designer and architect back in the 1970s. And inside the National Bank, you can also see some of the furniture that Arne Jacobsen has designed. Beautiful chairs, sofas and much more. It's open a few hours every day for the public. Over to the right on the other side, kayak bar, where you can rent kayaks, sail around the harbor, or just enjoy some nice food, some drinks. It's very popular to hang out here during the summer, especially when the weather is a little warmer than today. But please be careful about kayak sailing, also combining kayak sailing and alcohol. It could go wrong, as you know. We have a bridge coming up, so mind your heads. Thank you. In the harbour. Until around 60 to 70 years ago, Copenhagen's harbour was very different from today. It was a very industrial harbour and a lot of trade taking place. Now this trade has moved out of the city and the old warehouses have been converted into offices or living spaces. And there's a good example of that here to your right. It's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs occupying former warehouses. It shows how the harbor of Copenhagen has gone from being an industrial harbor to a cultural living harbor as today. And on the left, we have the small neighborhood called Cannal. It's located between the harbor, Kingsley Square, down by the end, and København to the right. It's a lot of nice restaurants, cafes, shops inside this little triangle area. Up into the left, you can see a low green building. It's a former warehouse. No, sorry, a former ferry terminal. Back from when ferries were sailing between Copenhagen and Malmö in Sweden. And these ferries stopped sailing in the year 2000 when they built the Øresund Bridge that goes between Denmark and Sweden. Maybe you saw this bridge if you were landing in Copenhagen Airport. The big bridge. Today, you can find Soho House inside this old ferry terminal. It's a club, a hotel, and a little restaurant as well. In front of us now, the Inner Harbour Bridge. It's a big pedestrian and bicycle bridge here in Copenhagen. So no cars are allowed on this bridge. It's also known as the Kissing Bridge because it opens and closes like a kiss. It's a sliding bridge. They built it as part of the effort to make Copenhagen the best bicycle town in the world. And for this year, Copenhagen was ranked number 2, right after Amsterdam. We hope that next year, again, Copenhagen will be number 1 as the best bicycle town in the world. Let's see about this. When we have sailed out of the Kissing Bridge, you should look to the left, and there's a quick view into København Cannal, the famous canal with the colorful houses. Here comes the water bus, the yellow water bus that sails around the 14 stops in Copenhagen Harbour. Quite convenient way to get around also. And here you have København Cannal to your left. And still here to the left, you can see a large brown building with a glass facade. This is Copenhagen's Playhouse. The Playhouse opened in 2008, designed by the architects called Lundgaard and Tranberg. The very first play was the famous story by Shakespeare, Hamlet. I'm sure you know Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark. And maybe you know this, or maybe you don't know this, but Hamlet takes place here in Denmark, right up at Cannal Castle, 50 kilometers north of Copenhagen. You can also visit Cannal Castle and get a bit of a Hamlet experience yourself. On the other side, to the right we have Cable Island, a small man-made island from the 1600s. And over the centuries, this was the place where the Navy were storing their weapons. So cannons, cannonballs, guns, all stored on this little island. Now as you can see, there are building some new houses. There will be a lot of expensive apartments in here. I've heard that these are the most expensive apartments you can buy in Copenhagen right now. One was sold for 45 million recently. There will also be an indoor swimming pool with access to the upper water, and all of this is completed in 2025. In front of you, to the left, you can see the big opera house here in Denmark. I will tell you more about the opera house just a little later. Because now we are sailing into a neighborhood called Holmen. Holmen used to be the Navy's base in Denmark. So it used to be the Navy's base in Denmark. Today the Navy is located in Jutland. It consists of 5 artificial islands, all created in the 1600s. And today you can find a lot of housing as well as educational institutions, the Royal Academy of Arts, Danish School of Architecture, and the School of Performing Arts. They are all located inside Holden here. If you would like to try a good Danish bakery, I can recommend the one down here on the corner behind the yellow parasols. It's a very nice new bakery. Good breads, good cakes, good coffee. We have a bridge coming up, so please take your seats and mind your heads. Thank you. I will be silent in the next 2 minutes, sorry, 2 minutes. So please enjoy this. Good performance. Bye. Now here to the left, you can see the old cannon boat houses. They were built in the early 1800s, and in here they were storing the cannon boats, the low rowboats with a lot of cannons on, and very important for the Danish sea defense. And notice how these houses go all the way down to the water's edge, so they could very fast, quickly get the cannon boats into the water if Copenhagen was under attack. And all of these houses are protected. They have been renovated, and you can find a lot of office space in here for different creative companies. And in others, as you can see here to your left, they are using them to store kayaks and canoes. On the other side, to your right now, we are sitting next to Christiania, the famous free town here in the city, established by hippies back in the early 1970s. They occupied a former military area, and then they created their own little city within the city. Christiania has its own kindergarten, school, elections, all sorts of festivals and the like. And they do not pay tax to the city, and therefore they don't get their garbage picked. So they have to have their own garbage collection and sorting system. Speaking about garbage, if you look to the right now, you can see a large industrial building with a great chimney on the side and some smoke coming up. But this is Copenhagen's new waste management plant. It burns a lot of household waste and produces electricity. But more fun, this building has a ski slope on the top. Yes, you heard right, a ski slope. So if you like to go skiing, you can do it right out there. If you don't like skiing, you can just have a nice cup of coffee. They have a little cafe on top as well. Designed by an architect company called Big Ennis. It opened in 2016. If some of you have heard about this Danish restaurant called Noma, it's a 3 Michelin star restaurant. It's been named the best restaurant in the world several times. And therefore I can tell you it's located right behind these trees to your right now. Noma. To sail back into the harbor. And I'd like you to look to the left just after we have crossed this bridge. And there you can see a small little hotel. It only has one room. And you can store your kayaks or canoes right under, so you can sail in and then sleep in the room above. It's a very funny new hotel in Copenhagen called Kayak Hotel. We actually already see it now behind the bridge right to the left. But please stay seated, we have a bridge coming up here. And there you have it, Kayak Hotel. To the left also you can see a couple of houseboats. I will tell you more about houseboats a little later. It will be a bit windy and maybe a bit wet out here in the harbor. So you are prepared for that. And the houseboat up into the left is owned by the architect who designed the waste management plant behind you. Now to the left, Denmark, in 2005. masses are seen working to 770 people. Many shared lines are spread through dialect consistency facing the roof of the upper house, with divers jumping right into the harbour. To the right, you can see behind these orange buoys in the water, it's the Navy space in Copenhagen. And on the shore, you can see a beautiful white ship with a yellow top and golden decoration on the side. This is the Royal Ship Cannal, Danish royal ship owned by the Danish royal family. It's the world's oldest royal ship since 1931. The Queen and her family, they sail around Denmark with this beautiful ship every summer. Named after the Danish flag and British and old, the world's oldest national flag. Up front, to the right, you can see a great frigate, it's a middle version, and then F302 written on the side. This ship was used during the Cold War. It sailed around the Baltic Sea, but it's famous for another reason. In 1982, it shot a missile right into a summer house area here in Denmark, and by accident. 10 summer houses were completely destroyed, and 100 of the buildings were damaged. Luckily, not a single person was injured. This summer vacation had just ended. However, the officer who pressed the rock bottom of this missile hit the summer house belonging to his mother in Copenhaguen. That's very unfortunate for this young officer, but luckily no one was injured. We call it the whoopsie missile. The 1700s, it's called Battery 60s. These vehicles shoot the cannons up here. They do it every morning at sunrise and every evening at sunset. They are shooting the cannons. It's a signal to the ships in the harbor that it can raise all over their flags. No tradition. But since we have a lot of people living right out to the harbor, including the Royal Government just on the other side, we have decided that sunrise is at 8 o'clock. 8 a.m. every day, year round. Some people can sleep a little longer. Especially the Royal Family. And if you look to, just enjoy beautiful battery sisters. Right next to Battery 60s, we have a section of the harbor with a lot of houseboats. And houseboats are very popular in Copenhagen. People do live on the houseboat the whole year round, not just in summer, also in winter. It's very difficult to get or buy a houseboat. It's even more difficult to find a spot for a houseboat in the harbor. This next section to the right, you will see houseboats that are made for containers. Containers we use in Hamilton. It's a student housing. It's a small dorm with breaker. The area to the right is called Copenhaguen Island. It's Denmark's last workplace since the 1980s. galleries. And out here you can also find the Copenhagen street food market, where you can try street food from all across the world. The easiest way to get there from the inner city is by taking the yellow water bus you see behind you. It's only 2 stops from København. To the right, there's a black and white train. It's a bungee jumping train. So if you're there, you can try bungee jumping right here in the harbor. And a few years ago, when they opened this train, there was an offer. You can jump naked. You can jump for free. And suddenly there was a long queue of naked Copenhageners, so long they had to turn down this offer. It was simply too popular. Too many wanted to jump naked, but for free. So if you're very excited right now, I think you're ready. There's one moment we're going to the most famous name in Denmark. Look who it is. It's of course with the mermaid. Please remember to smile. You will do it in the background of a lot of photos. The mermaid is the most visited attraction here in Copenhagen. The statue was put up in the year 1913. It was a gift from the founder of the Carlsberg brewery. His name was Carl Jacobsen. He invented the famous Carlsberg beer. He fell in love with his character from the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale The Little Mermaid, later turned into a popular Disney movie that I guess some of you have seen. And over the years, this statue has not had an easy time. Twice her head was cut off. One time her arm was cut off. She's been covered with paint several times. And also thrown into the harbor, so divers had to dive down and find her. But as you can see now, she has been cleaned, put back together, so she can welcome people to Copenhagen once again. She's always been sitting there on her stone, but she's left Denmark one time before. It was in 2010 when she was exhibited or part of the pavilion at the Danish pavilion at the World Expo in Shanghai in 2010. To the right, we are sailing along the old citadel of Copenhagen. The citadel is an old fortress from the 1700s. Today, inside the citadel, you can find the Winston Churchill Park, the Danish Church of Copenhagen, and the Museum of the Danish Resistance Movement during the Second World War. old warehouse to your right, you can find a lot of good restaurants, bars, even a high quality supermarket. Quite a couple of things to hang out during the summer. Coming up here to your right, two small white houses with green roofs. These are used by the royal family. The royal family normally waits inside the house to the left with a golden crown on top. Golden crown. Everyone else, so their servants, all of us ordinary people, we have to wait in the house to the right with a golden onion on top. A golden onion. So a little bit about the difference between the royals and the non-royals. Here to the right, a big white building with blue windows. The headquarters of Maersk, the Danish shipping line company Maersk, has donated to the opera house on the other side. Maersk, which is one of the world's biggest shipping line companies, they have more than 100,000 employees. The logo, you can see it on the top, it's a blue flag with a silver pointed star to show that they're sailing on all 7 seas. But if you ask the people working for Maersk, they will tell you it's because they work 7 days a week. The blue. The blue color you see on the logo, the flag, as well as in the windows. Special blue color trademark on Maersk, so no one else is allowed to use this specific blue color. Coming up to your right now, the three old warehouses. They were built in the 1700s, and inside these warehouses, they were storing goods from the Danish colonies. Back in Denmark had colonies around the world, including the islands, some parts of the West African coast, some parts of East India, and also up north, as you may know, Greenland, Faroe Islands, and Iceland. Today it says Greenland and Faroe Islands. Faroe Islands are still part of the Danish kingdom. The rest of Denmark's colonies were sold or became independent. And today, in the last two warehouses, the yellow and the red, you can find private apartments. First warehouse of the Royal Cask Collection. And now to the right, the beautiful and historic Amalienborg Palace. It's the winter home of the Danish royal family. The rest of the year, they stay on their other palaces around Denmark. And when they stay here, the queen lives in the mansion to the left with 5 chimneys on top. The crown prince couple and their 4 kids, they live in the mansion to the right with 4 chimneys on top. The queen's other son, Prince Joachim, he lives in Paris with his family working at the Danish embassy there. And today you can see the flags are down on their flagpoles. It's because they are mourning commemorating the funeral of the Queen Elizabeth in London today. That's why they have the flags. In the background, it's a beautiful large church. That's the biggest church built in Scandinavia. Today from the back, you can see the changing of the guards inside the Amalienborg Square. To the right here we have Ophelia Beach, it's called. It's a quite a big square, and beneath you can find a underground parking space for cars, and they have a lot of events taking place on this square. It's actually quite nice during the summer. Copenhagen's harbour is one of the world's cleanest harbours. It's so clean you can jump down, take a nice swim, and the locals they love to do that. We have several harbour baths all over the city. Swimmer that you are sailing with today, we also do something for the nature here in the harbour. We have put down 95 biohuts in the water together with the World Wildlife Foundation. And the biohut is a steel cage filled with oyster shells, and in the water the fish can swim into these cages and hide in these shelves and find food and protection. This helps the marine life of Copenhagen Harbour, and since you are sailing with us today, we would like to thank you for supporting this effort. And again, here to the right, the beautiful playhouse. Notice how the architects, they were inspired by Venice when they built this terrace going around the building, so the public has access to the top of the waterfront of the time. Very beautiful building. We are about to enter the beautiful and charming neighborhood of Christianshavn Harbour. It was built in the 1600s by the famous King Christian IV, and it looks a little bit like a mini version, a copy of Amsterdam in the Netherlands, with the canals and the narrow houses along the sides. It's simply because this king wanted to attract the Dutch merchants to come and settle here in Copenhagen. Because back then the Dutch merchants were the best in Europe. Today it's a very popular neighborhood. I'm also going to pause my speak as we sail through, so please enjoy these beautiful historic surroundings by yourself. Before we enter Christians Harbour, you can see a street food market up there to the right. It's called the Bridge Street Food Markets. Maybe if you had considered eating at the world-famous restaurant Norma, but you can't afford it or you can't get a spot, you could just try the takeaway burgers up here at Couple Burgers on the corner. A little easier, a little cheaper. We have a bridge coming up, so please stay down. Thank you. Mind your heads. If there are any questions, I will walk down the boat now, so feel free to ask me any questions you might have. Thank you.
Would you be thinking there?
We have a bridge coming up, so please stay seated, thank you. But have your cameras ready, because right after the bridge, you should look to the left, and there's a good view up to our Saviour's Church Tower. It's a beautiful church tower from the 1700s. It has it's a winding tower with a golden globe on top. And as you can see, people are walking all the way to the top of this tower. It's 400 steps. So you can also go up and get a good view over Copenhagen. Mind your heads, thank you. And here you have it, our Saviour's Church. If you missed it up here in the front, you can quickly hurry down to the back. You can get a photo of it from down there. If you look to the right, you can see the oldest house in København. It's a little red house here. It's from 1635. We have a low bridge coming up, so please start taking your seats. Mind your heads, it's a quite low bridge. Thank you. now sailing under the Circle Bridge, designed by Danish artist named Olaf Eliasson. So please take your seats. Thank you. These circles invite people to meet on the bridge instead of just using it to go from one side to the other as any other normal bridge. In front of you now, the Black Diamond, which is part of the Royal Library. It's called the Black Diamond because it's black, as you can see. And during the summer, when the sun hits the water in a special way, the light beams will reflect up on the facade, and it looks like thousands of diamonds sparkling. Very pretty sight you can see in the mornings. And this can happen because the facade tilts 7 degrees over the water towards us. That also works as a giant mirror. When we sail by it, in a moment you can see a reflection of this boat, and you can wave to yourself. Or you can do your hair or whatever you can do in this giant mirror. In front of you now, a big green glass building. It's called Blocks. It's even written on the sides. And inside here you can find the Danish Architecture Center. There's a restaurant, a gym, and the top floors are private apartments. And do you know what Lego is? Lego that you can play with? Yes. So this building is supposed to look like giant Lego cubes put together randomly. So it represents a bit of Danish culture. On the other side, you can see a big red building. It's an old brew house over here to the right. An old brew house from the 1600s. And I'll tell you more about this brew house and what they were brewing inside and why, just right after the next two bridges. So please stay seated. We're now sailing into the old part of Copenhagen where we came from. So please be seated. There'll be a lot of low bridges. Thank you. Another bridge, so please stay down. Thank you. So up in this brew house to the right in the 1600s, they were brewing a lot of beer. A lot of beer, not Carlsberg, but Danish beer. They had to do that because back then the drinking water in Copenhagen was very polluted, full of bacteria. People got sick, instead they were drinking beer. We know that every public servant, every soldier, they got 10 liters of beer each and every day to cover the needs of the household. And that of course also included their children. But luckily there was not so much alcohol in the beer as we have it today. And to the right now, another houseboat. This is a former lighthouse ship. And now it's a home for a family or two. The final houseboat down to the right. It's a wellness clinic. So you can use houseboats not just for living, but also for your business. And recently, a local high school here in Copenhagen, they got a very interesting opportunity to make something creative for the canal. And they created a debate sauna, that you can see here to your left. A little debate sauna where you debate while you are sweating inside. Here you have it. A bridge coming up. Please mind your heads. Thank you. And up here you can see the marble bridge. It's the oldest bridge in Copenhagen. It's from 1714. It was built as part of the first Christiansborg castle. It was located up here to the right, this castle. But it burned down in 1794, and the royal family moved to Amalienborg that you saw a bit earlier. But this bridge is still standing today, as you can see. Beautiful old Baroque bridge. Please mind your heads. Thank you. And up here to the left, you can see the National Museum of Denmark. This building was a former mansion just for the Crown Prince. Back in the 1700s, the Crown Prince had all of this just for himself, and his parents were living just on the other side in an even bigger castle. And that must have been very nice for young Crown Prince to have so much space and be so close to your parents. We are now sitting under a very low and narrow bridge. I have to ask you to keep your elbows, your arms, hands, everything inside the boat as we are sailing under this bridge. It's for your own safety. Thank you. So please do not stick out any hand, elbow, arm, head, anything. Thank you as we sail under this bridge. Very well. Now if you look to the right, maybe you've noticed we are sailing around a small island. It's called Castle Island, and this island has been the center of power in Denmark for more than 900 years. There's been 5 castles standing up here to your right throughout history. The first was built by a famous bishop named Absalon. He ruled over Scandinavia, actually, all of Denmark, even Scandinavia, and he built a castle here in 1167. He's also believed to be the founder of Copenhagen because that's the first time that Copenhagen is mentioned anywhere. You can see a statue of this bishop down here to the left in front of you. Down next to it's a green statue, a man riding a horse, looking into Christiansborg Castle. And as I told you before, inside the castle you can find the Danish Parliament, the High Court of Denmark, and the Prime Minister's office. Actually, our Prime Minister, she has her office on the top corner facing the canal, so maybe if you wait, she can see you. Yes, or kiss, or whatever you like. The yellow building up here to the right is Bertel Thorvaldsen's museum. He was a very talented Danish sculptor, this man named Bertel Thorvaldsen. He lived more than 40 years in Rome and created beautiful sculptures that you can see inside this even more beautiful museum. On the left side, we are sitting next to Old Beach, Gammel Strand in Danish. And back in the days, you would see a lot of fisherwomen standing up here selling fresh fish. Actually, Copenhagen was founded on the trading of fish, because in the medieval times, there were so many fishes in these waters, you could just stick your hand down, grab a fish and sell it right away. And that's why people flocked to this spot, and that's how Copenhagen became bigger and bigger. The last fisherwoman retired in 2008, so not that long ago. You can see a statue commemorating her up here next to the metro station. Behind it, you can see the statue of Bishop Absalon, the founder of Copenhagen. However, we know that Copenhagen is much older. It goes back to the Viking Age, because we have found remains from a lot of Viking villages right up here to your left. Bridge coming up. Please mind your heads. Thank you. Now, Christiansborg Castle up into the right. You can take the elevator all the way to the top of this tower. It's even for free. It's a good view. Or you can see the royal representation rooms in here. It's a nice museum. Or you can see the royal tapestries and much more. I can definitely recommend it. So, the captain and I, we hope you enjoyed this canal tour around Copenhagen's harbor. We wish you a great day here in wonderful Copenhagen. Please hold on to your tickets. You can get 20% discount on the next product you buy with Strømmen. We have the hop-on, hop-off buses and much more. Please mind the gap when you leave the boat, and thank you for sailing with Strømmen. Thank you.